Okay guys, so I am actually getting ready to leave. I am going to work at another base about 3 hours away from my house, and I'm actually staying up there for 3 days. And as you know, I was sick last week, so I really want to make sure that my macros are on point. And so I prepared all the food that I'm bringing for the next 3 days. So let me just show you what I got here. So this is the C2O coconut water. It's just pure coconut water. Here are, if you can see that. Anyway, so the macros are 0 fat, 17 carb, 0 protein, 16 sugar, but it's natural sugars. I like to bring those at work just because, you know, I fly and I can get dehydrated really easily, and these are really good to help bump up your electrolytes. So when I'm traveling or when I need to prepare a bunch of meals en masse, I don't always like to eat the same thing every day, but it's just a lot easier for me to do it like that. So here I've got 3 chicken and broccoli, 3 steak and Brussels sprouts, 3 salads, and in my salad I have spinach, tomato, onion, and egg, and that's my little dressing container. And this is the tuna salad that I'm putting with that, and then also a half, in each one of these bags is a half of a cut up bell pepper. These are my salmon and lentils, and I also put a lemon in there. I usually like to cook my salmon fresh and eat it, but I'm not going to have that luxury this week because all I have access to is a microwave. So what I like to do is put a lemon in there, and that way, you know, it keeps it a little bit fresher. And then this is my dinner for tonight, which is another salmon and lentils. And then I also have my breakfast made, and to just keep it really simple, I just did a half a cup of oats and 1 scoop of the PE Science Snickerdoodle protein powder. And then this is about 65 grams of raspberries that I'm going to have with each one. So, I hope that helps some of you guys. There is a refrigerator and a microwave in my room, and there's also, of course, a refrigerator and microwave at work. So I am going to, hopefully, I bought some of these like big insulated bags. So I'm going to try to put all of those in here just because it is a 3-hour drive, and, you know, fish and chicken, I don't want it to get weird temperature. So I'm going to try to pack it all in there, and I have some ice packs as well. I feel like the crazy bag lady. Look at all my bags. So I've got my bag full of all my sleeping stuff for my bed, which is like my pillow, my sheets and stuff. The purple one is my gym bag. The blue one is all of my other clothes, and this is like my computer bag. So I'm the crazy bag lady today, but I don't care. I also have my helmet bag and my boots in my car. And Tux knows I'm leaving. He saw all of my stuff packed, and he doesn't want me to leave. But I'm sorry, Tuxie, I gotta go. So I hope that helps out any of you that are traveling. I am going to try to get some footage this week. There is a Planet Fitness nearby, so that's what I got for you right now. And everyone have a good week. Bye. Ooh, that sun is bright. Good morning, guys. It is Thursday, February 25th, and I am back from work. I had to drive, or I had to go work at another base that was like 3 hours away from my house, and in the clip before this you saw the food that I brought with me, and that actually worked out perfectly. There was one morning after my 24-hour shift that I had like some eggs and like a blueberry muffin from the hotel breakfast, and then I went to bed. And then I didn't eat my last meal of the day, but for the most part I ate only the food that I brought. I did have a half of a cookie one day, but whatever, it is what it is. You can't be super hard on yourself, and even like, you know, that I'm in bikini prep, you still have to, you know, treat yourself sometimes. So I want to talk a little bit about the scale. So I don't remember how many weeks out I am. I want to say like 9 weeks out on Saturday, but so a few things that I do, like I normally weigh in on Saturdays, and then I get up in the morning, I weigh myself and take pictures before I eat or drink anything, and then if I'm gonna do a body comp that day, I will go do that before I eat or drink anything. So I send those pictures to my coach. Then if we do macro changes, the macro changes will be based on that. But Saturday, I do my check-in, and then I also have my cheat meal that day, because then, you know, you have the whole week afterwards to get rid of the extra water weight or extra bloating that may come from having the cheat meal. And I still have cheat meals every week. And I think that you need to, regardless of what kind of diet or anything that you're on, you cannot be 100% all the time. And if you are, that's great, but you're probably suffering a little bit mentally from it. Like I mentioned, I had the cookie. It was one of those hotels where they have like the fresh baked cookies there, and it smelled amazing. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat it, but that's all I could think about. So I went down to the lobby, I grabbed one, I showered, and I left it there, and I was like, okay, if I'm still thinking about it when I get out of the shower, I'll have half of it. And I calculated it into my macros. I ended up not eating my whole portion of salmon, and I had a protein shake, so I just kind of like worked my macros around it. But I felt so much better after eating that, just because that's what I wanted. Now, I'm not saying you have to treat yourself every day to like a donut or a muffin or whatever your treat meal of choice is, but I'm just saying you need to make sure that you are having an untracked meal, you know, once a week or so, just to have a little bit of sanity, for the lack of better terms. So since today is Thursday, I weighed in today and I took pictures, because last week I was sick and I was on antibiotics and steroids, and I knew that my weight was going to be up and my photos weren't going to be as good, because I only was able to work out last week Monday and Tuesday before I got super sick. And then being on medication and lack of activity, it's just, you know, a combination to make your weight go up on the scale. So I expected that, but it's still frustrating. But so I took those pictures. I told my coach, you know, we're like, all right, so we're gonna keep this in mind, but I expect next week your weight to go back down. So 2 weeks ago was my lowest weigh-in yet of this prep. It was 142.8, and that was the day that I did the posing clinic, and that was kind of the day that I officially made up my mind that I was going to compete on April 30th. And honestly, it was because of my weight and because of my pictures. At that point, I believe I was like 10 or 11 weeks out, and being at that weight, 142.8, my previous stage weight, or my last competition, was 139 pounds, and so I am so much further ahead of the game right now than I ever have been before. So that's why I made up my mind to compete, and then I got sick and then my weight went up. But you have to avoid the mind game that the scale, you know, can play on you sometimes. And if you're a person that gets really affected by the scale, try not weighing yourself. Try just going off of your progress pictures, because you know, your pictures and your measurements are something that is going to be a little bit more sometimes forgiving, meaning like you may be able to tell differences in your pictures and your measurements before you'll ever see a difference on the scale, because the scale is not a reflection of how hard you worked or how you know, how hard you stuck to your meal plan. It is just a reflection of that time. And there's so many things that can affect that scale. Whether you could have ate all of your macros perfectly, but say you ate most of your food towards the end of the day. When you wake up in the morning, yeah, you're gonna weigh a little bit heavier just because you haven't been as fasted as long. Whereas if you front load your food and say your last meal was at 5 o'clock and you weigh yourself in the morning at 9 o'clock, yeah, you're gonna weigh lighter, and you could have eaten the exact same thing. So guys, you cannot be ruled by the scale, and I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because a lot of people are, and I know it's so frustrating because, you know, you get on the scale, you don't weigh what you think you're gonna weigh, then you're discouraged. So when you're discouraged, you don't feel like working out as much. You may have an extra bite of food that you didn't track, or dive into a pint of ice cream, or, you know, whatever. Everybody has different ways of coping, and people are emotional eaters, and it's just like so easy to get in that downward spiral. And I don't want you guys to do that, because the scale does not reflect on how hard you work, and I cannot stress that enough. So back to my check-in. So 2 weeks ago was my lowest weigh-in at 142.8. Last week my weight was up. I want to say it was like 147, and I felt puffy and I felt bloated, and I attribute that to the medication. And this week I'm back down to 142.2. So I'm really excited about that. I see big changes in my pictures, obviously, from last week, but I'm gonna compare them side by side to my pictures from 2 weeks ago. I also am going to do my body composition today. The place isn't open until 9, so obviously I'm not going to be fasted because it's 7:45 right now, and I don't think I can wait another hour to eat. I may have a little bit, but I don't know. At this point, until I'm 8 weeks out, I'm going to do my body composition every 2 weeks on that InBody machine at Complete Nutrition, just so we can have some kind of point of reference. And then once I'm 8 weeks out, we're going to do it every week. So those are a little tip and tricks for you guys. I want to say, eat your cheat meals, treat yourself. Obviously, don't go hog wild and make your cheat meal a cheat day or a cheat weekend or a cheat week. You know, just have your one meal, be good with it, you know, and it is what it is. For me, one of my favorite cheat meals is having a ginormous breakfast. And when I mean ginormous, I mean ginormous. I think it was 2 weeks ago, we went out to this little diner, and we'd never been there before, but I did my body comp, and then there was a breakfast diner around there, so I had French toast, eggs, bacon, and probably a biscuit. Yeah, I think that's it. And then last week we went out to breakfast too, and I had, I think, French toast again. For some reason I've been really into French toast. Normally I'm a pancake person, but been into French toast lately, so I had some, and it was delicious. So this weekend, today is actually my husband's 30th birthday. I am planning a surprise party for him, and I can say this now because this video won't be uploaded before he sees this, but I'm super excited. I've been planning this for like over a month now, but his cousin and his girlfriend just got into town at 6 a.m. this morning. They actually drove all day yesterday. They're from the Midwest, and if any of you are from the Midwest, you are probably drowned in snow right now just because there was a blizzard. They left a little bit early, but still, I mean, the extra snow added in like another 2 or 3 hours to their trip, so I felt really bad for them. They showed up at like 6 a.m. this morning. There, can you see me? They showed up at 6 a.m. this morning, and they just looked beat. So I went to the gym and did my fasted cardio. They're sleeping right now. And then I have to go back and train with my coach around 11:30. My sister-in-law and her husband are flying in tomorrow evening. He doesn't know they're coming, and that's really exciting. And then his best friend from like growing up, he was actually our best man in our wedding, and his fiance are actually coming today around like 2. So the 4 of them will be here when he gets home from work at 4, and so I'm so excited. I hope that I can film it, and I hope there's a really good reaction, but I'm so excited to see everybody. I'm getting a little emotional, sorry. It's been a really long few months being here without any of our friends and family, and so it's really good to see everybody, and I can't wait for a fun weekend. So sorry guys. I can't wait for a fun weekend, so I'll get some footage for you guys of some things that we're going to be doing around Charleston, because it's supposed to be nice out, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Bye. Morning guys, so it is Friday morning. It's about 8:20 something right now. Sorry, the sun is crazy. I just dropped off Tux at Puppy Play Care, and he's getting a bath and everything today. And I wanted to tell you that yesterday was amazing. So I told you his cousin got in at 6 in the morning, so they were sleeping yesterday when I last talked to you. And then his best friend and his fiance got in literally just before he got home, and they brought their dog, so we were all just hanging out in the backyard while the dogs were like getting to know each other. And Dustin pulled up, and he was like talking to someone on the phone, and he looks out the window and he goes, "Dude, I gotta go." And he got in the car and was just like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe you guys are all here, this is awesome." And it was just pretty cool to see the look on his face. I was trying to get it videotaped, but they got there just like right before he pulled up, and so I didn't have time to like get my camera and everything, so I was kind of a little disappointed about that, but that's okay. The reaction on his face was just priceless, and I'm so excited that I did this. He was definitely surprised. So last night we all just hung out at home. I made dinner, and I got like a little cake and some cupcakes, and I got I made some brownies, and we all just hung out and got caught up because the last time we were all together was when we got married, which was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. So I just feel so much better having them here, and that he was excited to see them. And his sister called last night to, you know, just say like happy birthday, and I didn't know if she was gonna say anything because I asked her if, you know, once they got here, if she wanted me to tell him that they were coming too, and she said no. So when she called, he goes, "Did you invite them too?" And I said, "No, you know, I didn't." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm not gonna tell him that you guys are here then." So he went in another room and like talked to her, and oops, sorry. He went in another room and talked to her, and she texted me as soon as they hung up the phone and was like, "He has no idea." And then his mom called, and our grandma called, and so it was just a good day yesterday. And so this morning he got up and went to school, and I got up at 7:30 and started getting stuff together to drop the dog off. I'm gonna go work out now, just because I gotta get it in, and I figured I would go work out first thing in the morning just so I don't really miss any time with them, so I can like take them around and show them a little bit of Charleston today. Our plan is to kind of head out to the Folly Beach area, if any of you are familiar with Charleston. It's kind of like a, well, it's just like a little beach city slash area, and sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm in the right lane. Fuck. Little city slash area, and so we're gonna hang out there because it's supposed to be nice out today, like 60 something and sunny. So we're gonna do that, and his best friend and his wife are staying with his aunt and his mom in another little island town. So I don't know if they'll meet up with us there, but figured we'd kill some time there today because he doesn't get done with class until 4. And then everyone else is coming over around 6:30. So I figured I'd give you an update, and I will show you Folly Beach. Bye. While you're at it.
The thing was, it was going to take at least 2 years to build the house. She's got the cash, she's got, you know, it's going to take 2 years to build it. So the father of the groom, not wanting money to build out of wood, it was just too expensive to bring the stone over from England to build with. And we didn't have native stone here to, you know, cut like a quarry and build with. So a lot of people would do that hand beveling of the wood, or more popular than this. Another house museum over here, the Nathaniel Russell House, dates back to 1808, so a little older than any of the ones we've seen so far. This one's, I mentioned Nathaniel, I was just going to point out his initials in the balcony and above the front door there. Oldest house that we have in downtown Charleston, open to the public for touring, Hayward Washington House. Thomas Hayward Jr. owned the house. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. It's called the Hayward Washington House because George Washington stayed at this house when he visited here in 1791. Also real famous at this part of town, this section right over here. That what you're looking at right there was what was called in the 1920s down here was called Catfish Row. That was the original setting for the opera Porgy and Bess.